Okay, you can say welcome.
Am I going to do it my normal way or like am I being
You know what? I don't want you.
ratcheted down?
You do you, boo.
Welcome to What You're Watching.
Wow. Welcome to another episode of What You Watchin'.
What you watching? What you watching? What you
Zeus and
watching?
Stephanie. Hey, we have a great What You Watchin' today. And
Yes,
this
we
has
do.
been highly anticipated. Highly anticipated for almost 20 years. I think we've noted before that I like to read. I would spend my whole life reading if I could. And this book goes on my all-time top 10 best reads.
Wow.
If you take out the classics.
But this is right up there with East of Eden and The Thornbirds. This is a saga. And it's called SHANTARAM. And it's 936 pages.
If I had 10 books that I read in my life, it would be one of those 10.
You have other talents, honey.
I have other
He's
skills.
just not a reader.
Well, no, no.
Too long.
So, SHANTARAM. And it was a wonderful book. 936 pages.
We got a lively group back here tonight.
People are getting off boats, and I think they've been imbibing.
They've been what?
Imbibing.
Big word Thursday.
Okay, SHANTARAM.
Yeah.
It's now out on Apple TV. It was written in 2006. No, it was written sooner than that. It's
Yeah.
based in the 80s. It's semi-autobiographical about a guy that is a bank robber, heroin addict, who gets very uplifting.
Yes.
Very uplifting.
Yeah.
Gets arrested for various robberies, goes to prison, breaks out of prison, and then goes and hides away in the slums of
Bombay.
And that's where the story starts, and that's where the story gets good,
Yes.
because there's many twists and turns.
Yes.
And
You know why I actually like this?
yes, please tell us, what do you like about it?
I'll tell you what I like about it. The star of the show is a guy named Charlie Hunnam. He was the lead in a show that ran, I don't know how many seasons. Long time. Sons of Anarchy. He was amazing in that.
We didn't watch it for the longest time because I had heard that it was so violent. But like, when have we not watched violent shows? It actually turned out to be really good story.
What's his accent?
He's British.
But he plays an Aussie.
He plays an Aussie. You know, it's interesting because this is such a highly... They tried for 20 years to make this movie. And it was connected to Russell Crowe.
Johnny
and then
Depp,
John...
too.
You stepping on my lines.
No, I just remember. I remembered that John.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, Johnny Depp was absolutely going to play the part. And then the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise took off. That's how long ago these actors were attached to it. So then they finally dug it back up. And if you've seen The Offer, or if you saw a review on The Offer,
Right. If you haven't, please look it
you
up.
see how hard it is to get a movie made.
And a good movie made. We've
Exactly.
seen a lot of crappy movies that have been made.
Yeah.
And to have a good one, it's even harder.
It's hard to get a movie made. And they ran into a whole bunch of problems. Then eventually COVID hit, it hit everybody. And Charlie Hunnam decided to take it on. He originally wanted to produce it.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. So I thought it'd be interesting that we do this from the perspective of the person who read the 936-page book and the person who saw
How's bragging camp going?
what you're reading. What you're reading. reading?
It doesn't flow.
Anyway, I thought it would be interesting to look at this from the perspective of the person that read the book and the person that...
Doesn't know how to read.
You still have your dignity.
I mean, if you read the book, you know all the nuances, you know all the backstory, you get the dialogue, you get to, in your mind, kind of think what these people are going to look like. And then if you haven't seen it, you see it from fresh eyes. Like, what was your perception of it? Because, I mean, I would have a tendency to break it down because
Right.
my expectations were so high.
Right. So I had no expectations. But here's the thing that I thought was really interesting. I didn't think I would get caught by the
that you had your
show and get brought into it, and I felt like I got captured, and that was a really interesting thing because I liked obviously the lead because I've seen him in a lot of other shows, but I wasn't sure, and I really knew nothing about it. I mean, you had really didn't say anything other than, this is a book of...
It's 936 pages that I've read 12 times, and I've given it to 47 friends.
Only half of them read it. Susan, I'm coming for you.
Watch your back.
The one thing that I think you really come away from is this guy's a really good guy. Even though he was a bank robber, heroin addict.
An escapee.
But he has a good heart.
Yes, he does.
And I think that you see that building throughout this whole process of the show. And we've been learning that on the things that he's been doing and the people that he's been helping. And the times that he could just throw his hands up and say, I'm out of here. He always doesn't and stays and ends up helping people.
Right. Well, because he's looking for redemption.
Okay.
Interesting thing is that the author really did escape prison, really was a heroin addict, really did get arrested for lots of robberies. He really did go to the slums of Bombay and hide away to try to become anonymous. In the series, they never tell you he has some kind of medical training of some kind.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was in a war and
but he's diagnosing people with things like,
we got to get them to the hospital right now or they're going to die.
It's like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
So that was the part I think that was frustrating. They didn't build that bridge. You know what year the writer was captured?
1990.
Yeah, good. Yeah. He was captured in 1990, and he actually started writing Shantaram while he was in prison.
He did. But he also gets involved in organized crime in India. Like all of these things.
But not...
Well, you're not there yet. We haven't finished it because we got all the way up to episode 7. Probably by the time this airs, it will be finished.
Okay.
But it takes twists and turns.
You can put this down now.
Oh, thank God.
Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Me either. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes. Actually, here's a little warning.
Yeah.
I
saw
critics reviewed it higher than the audience.
Which I thought was interesting.
And we keep bringing it home that the audience score is really the tell for
people.
Us. For the people.
The people on our new Lazy Boy schedule. What do you give it?
How many out of 100?
Do we recline or we recline?
I'd recline to watch it.
I would recline to watch it.
If you just didn't hear anything about it and you just happened to watch it, what would you give it?
I probably, because I haven't finished it, I think up to this point, I'd probably give it a 4.
Okay.
I think that's reasonable.
I'm going to give it a 3.75. I would recommend it. Eventually, we're going to get off the Lazy Boys and we're going to go back into a theater and we're going to watch a movie in the theater.
And we're going to do it from the theater.
So dang comfortable on those Lazy Boys. The good thing about it is we only have one. So
you know what? We'll do it from the theater. Let's do a What You're Watching from the theater post-movie screening. I can make that happen.
That's a great idea. And
I can make that happen.
We have a movie that someone told us about that we met at a little cafe. I won't tell you what it is, but we're going to go into a theater and get off that sofa.
We should tell them what it is.
No.
No, it's an Empty Nester secret.
It's a secret.
If you go on Empty Nesters United, our Instagram page, you'll see the Empty Nester secret. So please comment, subscribe.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash the like button like all the kids say.
Please.
We'll see you next week on another edition of
What you watching? You want to put your hand up there?